a carriage coming.
They'll be separated out up north to the islands where they'll be doing a
Life's 7 years hard labour to look forward to.
You don't look like you'd last 7 days. With you being the leader of the gang and a notorious outlaw in your own right, there's only one sentence he could pass down.
Not today. You promised you wouldn't.
This is your third carriage. Constant rocking. Puts me on edge.
Then pay to have the wheels repaired.
You know I would. But there are other priorities.
You mean the kind of priorities that come in a bottle?
Oh, that's not fair. Well, where do you think all these beautiful dresses and jewellery come from?
This jewellery was my mother's, and this dress belonged to Cousin Charlotte.
She doesn't need it anymore. Not now she's married. You know, it was your mother's dearest wish that you should marry well.
No, it wasn't. That's your dearest wish. Mother said that I should marry for love.
We could afford to be idealistic then. Times have changed, Elizabeth. The old estate is crumbling with barely a skeleton star. If you could suitably impress Mr. Winthrop, it might be our last chance to hang on to Hargreave Hall.
Mister. How is it that my father is the Earl of Pembroke, yet my supposed husband-to-be has no title at all?
Is what they call nouvelle riche. Businessman. I'm sure you'll find him quite charming.
We'll see.
Beheading? They still do that round here.
Not as a rule, no. But there's a rather influential local gentleman who had a few words with the magistrate. Persuaded him to bring the old axeman out of retirement.
What local gentleman?
Somebody who wanted to make quite sure you were dead. Perhaps he's got a grudge against you.
You know, the sad thing is, if I am to be executed, no one will find out where I hid it.
It what?
The loot, of course. All the robberies. Such a shame all that money going to waste.
How much?
Don't know. There was so much, I never got around to counting it. We just threw it all in a wooden box with the jewellery and gold pieces. Buried it in the woods not far from here. Where shall I tell you?
If I dug it up, it wouldn't go to waste.
And what do I care if I'm going to be executed?
I can help you. How? Put in a good word.
We can do the executioner.
Don't knock it, serve it. It can be the difference between a single clean slice through the neck or a box knacking round the shoulders that could go on for hours. And that old man, he's very old. Could take him a good few swings to get the job done if I don't give him hand with it.
What's that you're reading?
Just some poetry? So how did Mr. Winthrop come to acquire his wealth if he wasn't born into it?
I'm a little hazy about the details, but I understand it's about investing in land and then digging up coal.
He's a manual labourer.
No, he didn't dig it up himself. He owns a mine, Elizabeth. And he employs dozens of people.
We used to employ dozens of people.
And we will again. As long as you play your cards, right?
Well,
All right, I'll tell you. Well, come closer. You don't want anyone outside these four walls
built to Winthrop's own design. Around the back, there are great tracts of land all the way down to the mine. I tell you, Winthrop is a man of means. Remember to flutter your eyelashes.
Most of the coal extraction going on in England today is horribly primitive. Pits of only 50 feet deep, with no supporting structure at all. Very dangerous for workers.
Yeah, see?
There was an incident in Wales just over a year ago, where there was a huge explosion which took down the entire shaft, trapping a dozen men. And the worst of it was, they were still alive. They could be heard tapping on their helmets, trying to get a message out from the rubble. Nothing could be done, of course. Not over days, apparently. But that's why I insist in the highest safety standards. My shaft is the longest in the country. It goes deeper than anyone else's. Over 200 feet deep.
Hear that, Elizabeth? 200 feet. And might a man breathe the air that far down?
Well, with our patented air pumping system, he can.
Fascinating. What do people do with all this coal you're digging up? Why aren't you mining for gold or silver?
They burn it.
Hmm?
Ask me this, sir, if you will. How much firewood does it take to heat up Hargreave Hall during the winter months?
Half a forest, it seems.
This house was built with a coal cellar, a room no bigger than this, beneath our feet. The coal in that cellar will heat up this entire property from October to March.
Extraordinary.
You must allow me to give you a tour of the mine someday.
That will be marvelous. Tell me, this mine of yours, what kind of income might a setup like this generate on an annual basis?
More than enough to keep a young lady in a manner to which she's accustomed, I can assure you.
And what about an old man?
Well, my business manager, Mr. Arkwright, is, as we speak, writing up a contract, which I'm sure will allay all your concerns.
Contract? What sort of contract?
A marriage contract.
Did you hear that, Elizabeth? A marriage contract! You did it!
I don't know what I did. Barely gave me a passing glance.
Well, obviously, he's too much of a gentleman to talk to you directly until after the marriage. It's a sign of good breeding.
He seemed far more interested in talking business with you.
Well, that's another good sign. I must have a good look at this proposal of his. I'm expecting a large stake in that mine. He's not getting his hands on my only daughter for nothing.
Getting his hands on me? Oh, you make it sound awfully tawdry. And I haven't agreed to anything yet.
An opportunity like this will not come along again, Elizabeth. Not at your age.
Is Hargreave Hall really at risk?
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but the east wing has already been stripped. Paintings, furniture, anything of value, gone.
That's where I grew up. All my childhood memories are of the East Wing.
So now you can see how important this marriage is.
Well, I will admit, he's not completely unattractive.
That's the spirit. I'd say he'd make an excellent suitor. He's tall, he's wealthy, he's got good tracts of land.
It's all happening terribly fast. At this rate, you'll have me married off by the end of the week.
We can, Barton. blocking the road, making demands with menaces. Now the question is, sir, who the devil are you?
My name, sir, is Turpin. Perhaps you've heard of me. And my notorious gang.
I heard you'd been arrested.
No jail can hold me, sir. All my gang, who are at this moment in the trees surrounding your carriage. And I must warn you, they are all armed and prepared to die.
Well, I am the Earl of Pembroke. And if you have any sense of decency, sir, you'll stand aside.
The Earl of Pembroke? That sounds impressive. You must be very wealthy.
My financial standing, sir, is no business of yours.
I'm making it my business. Now hand over whatever items of value you have in that carriage.
We're not carrying any items of value, sir.
Really? The Earl of Pembroke travels the country without a penny in his pocket.
Being an earl isn't what he was, sir.
There must be something worth having in there.
Daddy? Who are you talking to?
Elizabeth, get back inside.
Well. I thought you said there was nothing of value in that carriage.
Sir, she's my only daughter.
Relax, your earlship. I was talking about the necklace. Elizabeth, is it? Come over here.
Elizabeth is Turpin, the famous outlaw. Don't let him lay a finger on you. You're betrothed. Remember?
That's it. Come along. My gang don't want to be kept waiting.
Are you sure you've got a gang?
They're out there in the trees. Even now they have their pistols trained on you and your father. Now come along, hand over the necklace.
I can't see anyone.
Never mind about that now, just give me the necklace.
I do believe you're bluffing. He's bluffing, Daddy. He hasn't got a gang.
Right. That's it. Nobody move. When you've got a bloody daddy now, you're in big trouble.
Turpin, don't be hasty.
The young lady is coming with me. And if any of you move an inch in the next 10 minutes, my gang will let you have it.
How dare you lay a hand on me?
I am sorry, your ladyship. I didn't plan it this way.
Where are you taking me?
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go. Ah, Mr. Arkwright, just the man. Is a marriage contract drawn up yet?
Yes, I have it here.
Complete with all the special clauses I requested?
Yes, of course. But I must...
Excellent. Leave it on the table, and I'll have a message sent to the Earl inviting him back at his soonest convenience.
Please, Mr. Winthrop, sir, I must talk to you about this land survey report. It's as I feared.
Let me see.
The men dug test pits every 200 yards in a circular formation.
What do they find?
Nothing.
Nothing. They found no coal at all.
Not a bit of it, I'm afraid. It appears that the coal seam that you found initially was what they call an outlier. A one-off. There's nothing else like it in the surrounding area. It's quite unusual, really.
I spent £100 on that survey. And all the land I purchased?
Largely worthless, I'm afraid. I suppose you could rear cattle on it, except...
Except what?
Well, that's covered in dangerous pits now. You'd be forever dragging the animals out of the holes. You could spend another £100 to have the holes filled in, I suppose.
How can it cost the same amount filling them in as to dig them out? Surely it's half the work.
That's the question for the surveyors. But I'm afraid what with this, and the situation with the mine, well, that leaves you in a bit of a precarious situation, I think.
How about, the other survey?
Now, that tip certainly paid off.
As good as react.
But, it's astonishing what people have in their possession and have no idea that they've got it.
Then we're fine. As long as this marriage contract of yours stands up.
Well, once there's a signature on it.
Leave that with me.
But, so, what about the situation with the mine?
Yes.
Well, there's barely any coal left to extract.
Tell them to dig deeper, another 10 feet.
Well, the last 10 feet didn't reveal anything.
I don't care. I just need to keep up the appearance of business as usual. I don't need to tell you how many loans I took out against that mine for all that bloody worthless land.
No, of course. Did you... Were you aware the mine was in trouble when you took those loans out?
What if I was?
I would have recommended strongly against it. It could be seen as deliberate fraud.
And whose signature is at the bottom of all those loan agreements, Mr. Arkwright?
Well, it's mine.
Thank you, Mr. Arkwright. Good day.
I was signing on your behalf. I do it all the time.
Good day.
Do either of you two have some sort of timepiece? Just wondering if 10 minutes has passed yet.
Ow!
Don't exactly blend in, do you?
What do you mean?
That dress.
It was rather intended to make me stand out.
I can see that. I'm afraid it's the last thing we need right now. How long do you think it'll be before your father has people out combing the woods for us? Come on.
That's it. Turn us around. Straight back to Winthrop's. He'll know what to do.
What are you doing?
Stealing these.
Is that all you know how to do? Steal things?
Right, I'm borrowing it. You ever borrowed anything, your ladyship?
This dress is borrowed from my cousin.
There you are, then. I promise I'll give it back when I'm out of trouble.
Are you ever out of trouble?
Occasionally. Come on. This is appalling. Durbin, did you say?
Yes. It's a well-known outlaw.
Yes, I'm very well aware of its nefarious activities. In fact, I thought he was in jail.
Well, apparently he's free. And he's graduated from burglary to kidnapping.
Don't worry. We'll get Elizabeth back. O'Reilly? This is Mr. O'Reilly. He works for me in various capacities. O'Reilly, tell the Earl's coachman to take you back to where the kidnapping took place. You'll know what to do from there.
Yes, sir.
Here, put this on.
That thing! Ugh, it's probably infested with something.
Come along, your ladyship. We haven't got all day.
And in any case, you should hardly expect me to change my dress out here in the middle of the forest.
Soften. You know, you're almost more trouble than you're worth.
And what am I worth?
I recently lost the use of an excellent horse.
A horse. So what do you propose to do? Ride on me?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What I propose to do is to request a ransom from your father for your safe return. I'm sure the Earl of Pembroke keeps an excellent stable.
He used to. Not anymore.
You must have some money at least.
Not really.
Surely it takes a considerable income just to maintain such a large estate.
He started selling off family heirlooms. I'd be absolutely distraught if we lost Hargreave Hall.
Bugger me. I know how to pick 'em, don't I? I must have the daughter of the only Earl in England who's flat broke.
You'd been better off waiting until I was married.
Let's make a deal. For her safe return, I'll land a good horse, 50 gold sovereigns. Okay, I'll take the horse and 20 gold sovereigns. Okay, just the horse, I'll just take the horse.
You get nothing. Give me the girl.
And then we'll say no more about it?
No. And I'll take your head.
That's what I thought. Come on, let's go.
Aren't you even going to fire back?
Not right now, I'm afraid he's got us outgunned. We need to find somewhere to hold up for the night till it darks. Come on. Here. This will steady the nerves.
Perfect.
Now, there's no need to be too concerned. My manner already never fails me.
What did you say his line of work was?
A little bit of everything, really. Especially the things one wishes to be done. Discreetly.
I see.
Now, if you'd like to take a seat at the table, as luck would have it, the marriage contract is ready for your perusal. Well, this'll do for the night.
It most certainly will not. Wait, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, lady.
Don't you dare!
I have to protect my assets.
Ow!
Sorry. What's this book?
Can you even read?
Of course I can read. Just don't have the time right now.
Now where are you going?
To get some essentials.
You can't just leave me here like this.
Don't worry. I'll be back.
Does it say 50%?
Yes, that's right. Once Elizabeth and I are married, 50% of all profits from the mine will be made over to you.
That's very generous.
Nothing's too good for my future father-in-law.
And what's this about Hargreave Hall?
Well, the hall and the surrounding estate will be made over to my stewardship.
Stewardship?
Well, think on this. In your later years, do you really want to be burdened with maintaining such a vast building? Not to mention the land and the gardens.
So you take care of all that?
Well, I could, so long as the estate was under my stewardship.
Do you have an ink pen to hand, sir?
Good evening, your ladyship.
Where have you been?
I went back to that little shack in the woods. There was no one home, so I borrowed a few essentials. I thought you might be hungry, so I brought dinner.
I'm not hungry.
This isn't so you can eat, it's so you can change.
I told you I'm not wearing that.
It's clean. I stole it off a washing line, remember? You stick out a mile in that dress. I'm afraid it's not a risk I'm prepared to take a moment longer. I'm afraid I really must insist.
If you were a gentleman, turn your back.
I'm an outlaw, not a gentleman. But still.
What kind of an occupation is that, anyway?
Outlaw? I do all right.
Spending the night in smelly barns, is that what you consider doing all right?
I'm sorry if the accommodation isn't up to your usual standards, your ladyship.
Will you stop calling me that?
What? A ladyship?
I am not a lady.
Could have fooled me.
Stop gawping at me. I meant I do not hold the title of a lady.
How did you get that then?
You marry a lord.
say something about getting married?
That is none of your business.
You don't sound too happy about it. Isn't he a lord, then?
I told you, that is none of your business.
A minute. You said that I'd be better off waiting till you got married. What did you mean by that?
Nothing.
He's got money, hasn't he? Your fiancé. That's what you meant. Is it a lord?
No.
Or a Jew?
No.
Or a prince?
No. He isn't anything. Just a nouveau riche upstart named Winthrop.
Winthrop.
Well, it all seems satisfactory. Mind you, I must warn you, Elizabeth can be a feisty young thing. You're going to have your work cut out, that's for certain.
I've never been one to back away from a challenge, sir.
How did you acquire your fortune? Must have taken quite a bit of capital, purchasing the land, setting up the mine in the first place.
Well, I've always been involved in one form of business or another. Ever since I was a boy. I've always been just a little bit better at it than everyone else.
Your parents must be very proud of you. Would they be attending the wedding?
No, sadly not. They both passed away some time ago.
Hmm. Aunts, uncles, cousins?
No,
Okay. You know, I adore Elizabeth, but, well, sometimes I do wish she had a younger brother, a young man who might make his own way in the world, achieve something to be proud of. The trouble with daughters is they just sit there, looking pretty.
well, you know what they say about a marriage. It's not so much losing a daughter, but gaining a son. Just your signature at the bottom.
Should we have a witness
What?
to the signature?
Well. O'Reilly, perfect timing. Would you please witness the Earl's signature?
Wait a minute. What about Tarpin?
Give me a slip. Have a fair idea where they're headed down.
You see? Everything is under control. As I've always said, O'Reilly never fails me. Please, just a signature, if you will. There's something I need to tell you about Winthrop.
What would a man like you know of him?
More than you seem to. He's 10 times the thief I'll ever be.
Are you sure you're not jealous?
Jealous.
Yes. Why not? He's wealthy, successful, not to mention handsome. I found him quite impressive.
You don't know him very well at all, do you?
For your information, I happen to have spent several hours in his company.
Several hours. And that's enough to decide to marry him.
You have no idea how society marriages work, do you? Such a peasant, Turpin.
Call me Dick.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Listen, I'm trying to tell you something important. I wasn't always an outlaw, you know.
What were you before?
A butcher's apprentice.
Oh, so you know how to carve up a dead animal?
When I was a butcher's apprentice, this group of lads started coming to the shop with deer carcasses they wanted to sell. Venison always sold well in the shop, so I didn't think anything of it. It was all fine, until one night, these lads came, said they were a man short and they needed my help hunting the deer.
Is it normal to hunt deer at night?
No. But I didn't know that. Turns out they were poaching the deer from the Royal Forest of Waltham. By the time we got there that night, it was too late to back out. And by the end of that night, night I was as guilty as the rest. Trouble was, it wasn't just poaching they were getting up to. Soon enough it was horse theft and burglary.
I knew you were a scoundrel.
I was a boy. Not even 20. And there was another young lad in the group, even younger than I was. Believe it or not, he was the ringleader. Probably because he was the most ruthless. Always carried a dagger strapped to his back. Anyway, it all fell to pieces one night when we were caught during a burglary in Hampshire when an old man was killed.
Killed? Who did it?
I don't know. I was in another part of the house at the time. I had my suspicions. Anyway, once we were all in jail, this young lad pretended that we'd forced him into it. Ratted us all out and gave up a huge stash of loot we had hidden in the woods. Probably because he was barely old enough to shave, they believed him. Bill got sentenced to the noose. And he got a bloody reward. And you know what that little rat's name was?
Not Winthrop.
No. People called Winthrop don't go around poaching deer. This lad's name was Jack Jones.
Then why are you telling me this?
Because after the trial, this young lad took his reward money and disappeared. I heard a rumor that he'd moved to this part of the country and bought himself a piece of land. Tried to reinvent himself as a bit of a gentleman. I never had any proof. But I thought, seeing as me and my gang were in the area, I'd have a little sniff around. And from what I've seen and heard, your Mr. Winthrop is almost certainly my Jack Jones.
There. It's done. You may not understand this, Winthrop. As a father, one takes one's responsibility to one's family very seriously. And to the family estate. Knowing that Elizabeth and Hargreave Hall are in a safe pair of hands gives one huge satisfaction. It's liberating. It's almost as if, having signed this, I'm no longer required at all.
It's funny. You should say that. I feel the same way.
DJ Ajay Malmal Rama Bhindivana Malmal
आजो
रामाधीन दीवाना मलमल। रामाधीन दीवाना मलमल।
कौशल्या के जन्म में श्री राम की देवकी के कन्हैया जी जन्म में, कौशल्या के जन्म में।
About you, I mean. Careful, O'Reilly, he's drooling all over it. Now, you better make damn sure you can get Elizabeth back. No problem. If I play this right, Elizabeth will be begging me to have Turpin dealt with as harshly as possible.
What an absolute load of nonsense. I knew you were jealous.
I am not jealous. The man is a criminal.
That's rich coming from you.
Maybe a thief. I'm not a murderer.
The whole story makes no sense. You said you were sentenced to hang, yet here you are.
I managed to escape.
Oh, how convenient.
I'll spend one night here, and then in the morning, I'll take you to your Mr. Winthrop for whatever ransom I can get. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Am I supposed to sleep on the floor?
You can have the blanket.
You better not come near me.
I can assure you, your ladyship, you have nothing to worry about.
I'm sorry to bother you so early, Mr. Winthrop. But you did say in the morning.
Is that the report I've been waiting for?
More bad news, I'm afraid. News from the mine.
What is it this time?
Well, you know the men are digging deeper and deeper, what with the upper levels drying up. Well, apparently the deeper you go, the greater the risk of a build-up of noxious gases.
Yes, I know that. That's what the air pump system's for.
Yeah, well, the foreman told me that it hadn't been working for weeks.
I do recall hearing something about that.
17 men were overwhelmed. One nearly died.
Well, we are running a mine, not a workers' welfare association. There are bound to be some casualties as part of the job. Besides, I'm not going to repair the air pumps.
Why is that?
Well, because the other function is to rid the shaft of combustible gases.
Yes?
Well, it just occurred to me that should there be an explosion in the shaft, it could render the mine inoperable.
But that would be a disaster.
Only for my insurance.
People would be killed.
Again, not a problem for me personally. I most assuredly won't be anywhere near the site when it happens.
Do the insurers know the current value of the line? Given that there's no damn coal to be found in it.
I'm getting a little bit tired of your remonstrations, Arkwright. Now let me see the report.
eastern boundary of the estate. By digging in diagonally, they were able to see the start of a new coal seam just inside the boundary. The surveyor thinks that the best place to sink the shaft would be here.
On top of the hall.
Well, underneath the hole, to be precise. It would have to be demolished, of course, to make way for it.
Excellent. Looks like we're back in business. If this all goes to plan, the old mine can go to the crows for all I care.
Assuming the Earl signs the contract, of course.
It's already done.
And the wedding goes ahead as planned. The law is very precise about that. You have to be related to the Earl by marriage or otherwise for you to take full advantage of the estate.
It's all in hand.
Where is the Earl, by the way?
His presence was no longer required.
For his own daughter's wedding? Is he not going to walk her down the aisle?
I wasn't aware that was a legal necessity. Besides, the Earl sadly passed away in the night.
What? After he'd signed the contract?
Fortunately for us, yes.
This is all very strange. Even by your standards, Mr. Winthrop.
By my standards,
I've gone along with a lot of your schemes, but this just doesn't sit right with me, this one. Since the contract's signed and survey's completed, I'd rather have no further part in this.
well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Arkwright. As it happens, I do have no further requirements you need to fulfill.
Very good. I'll be on my way then.
There is just one more thing in regards to the late Earl.
Yes?
Well, I have some good news. You'll soon be joining him.
What? No.
Nobody goes against me, Arkwright. You should know that by now. Now, fetch me a bride.
What about Turpin?
I think it's best to let the authorities deal with Turpin. I've already ensured he'll get an immediate death sentence. Oh, while you're out, inquire where one might purchase some explosives. Elizabeth? Wake up, your ladyship. Elizabeth? What the hell, Elizabeth?
Quiet. I don't have to listen to your nonsense anymore, Turpin. Untie me.
And then what?
I'm going to get Mr. Winthrop and he'll know exactly what to do with you.
He'll kill me.
It's no more than you deserve. But Mr. Winthrop is a gentleman. I'm sure he will do nothing of the sort.
In which case, you'll hand me over to the authorities and they'll kill me. Is that what you want?
It couldn't happen to a more deserving fellow.
Well, now I know that's how you feel.
Keep back. I'll pull the trigger.
I'm sure you will.
I mean it.
I thought you were going to pull the trigger.
Are you truly not afraid to die?
Not really. A pistol needs This is empty.
You mean all that time you've been waving that thing around?
I was never going to shoot anybody. Come on, let's go.
Don't you have a plan? I mean, to get away.
I'll think of something. Told you I'm making this up as I go.
I could just walk away, couldn't I? And you couldn't do anything.
Do you know your way out of this forest?
Jack! The guard's coming with me now.
Is that thing even loaded?
My pistol's always ready to fire.
Listen, if you work for a man named Winthrop, there's something you should know.
Well, well, well. If it ain't my old friend Dick Turpin.
Hello again. Did I ever tell you about this stash of loot I have here? Such a relief to have you back, Elizabeth. We're all getting so terribly worried. Turpin, such a villain. He could have done anything to you. Did he do anything to you?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Well, the good news is, we're moving forward at a pace. You've got an urgent appointment with Reverend Peters this afternoon.
The Reverend Peters.
You are due to be married after all, Elizabeth.
Where is my father? Is he here?
In a manner of speaking. I'm sorry to say that your father succumbed in the night to the unbearable stresses of the situation, vis-a-vis your kidnapping by the aforementioned Turpin. He's currently laid out downstairs, awaiting transportation to the church.
What?
There's no need to worry. I've spoken with the Reverend, and he's agreed to perform a sort of combined wedding and funeral. So, as I say, there's really no need to worry. It's at 3 o'clock, so you have plenty of time to clean yourself up.
You actually want to get married? Today?
There's no time like the present, Elizabeth. It's what your father would have wanted. It's all that Turpin's fault, really. The man's a veritable monster. Thank goodness he's now incarcerated in the local jail, ready for the executioner's axe this afternoon.
What? The executioner's axe?
Well, he has escaped the noose before, Elizabeth. This time will be certain he's dead.
for the beating you gave me yesterday.
Oh, so easy.
Not even close. Will we even come 3 o'clock this afternoon when your head's on the chopping block?
3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right. Not expecting quite a crowd. You being a famous highwayman and all that.
What's that?
It's a local church across the road. It's 2 o'clock. You got an hour to live. You must make the most of it. This is all very irregular. We normally ask at the Happy Couple attend services for 3 months prior to the wedding.
Yes, I do appreciate that, Reverend, but in this case, time is very much of the essence.
I see. Well, these things do happen. And when is the young lady due?
2:30.
Sorry?
For a 3 o'clock wedding. She'll be arriving at 2:30.
Yes, of course.
And I'm sure a suitably large donation to the church funds would help cover any additional costs due to these irregularities.
Well, of course, there are always costs associated with a wedding. Of course, the church fee, my own fee, the choir fee, the organist fee, and other miscellaneous expenses.
And we understand each other.
I believe we do.
Listen, I need to tell you something.
You think I'm gonna fall for the same trick again, Turpin?
It's not that. Listen, I have some important information about a local gentleman in Queensborough. Do you know of him?
Of course I do. My brother-in-law works down his mine. Half people in this town owe their livelihood to Mr. Winthrop. He's a great man. One of the best.
Oh.
So, what's this valuable information?
Never mind.
Relax, Turpin. It ain't 3 o'clock yet.
What are the bells for?
Must be a wedding.
A wedding? Shall I get on with it?
Don't touch me.
It isn't 3 o'clock yet. The choir hasn't arrived.
Well, we can use up the hymns, Reverend. I'd sooner get this over with.
Very well. Music, please.
What's the matter? Haven't you ever heard of a shotgun wedding? Are you sure those bells are to signify a wedding?
Pretty sure. It's funny though. Don't normally have weddings on a Thursday. Must be a rush job. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man and this woman in holy matrimony, which is an honourable estate instituted by God in the time of man's innocence, signifying the mystical union between Christ and his church. This union which Christ adorned and beautified by his presence and was commended by St. Paul to be honourable amongst all men, and is therefore not to be taken lightly.
Yes. Can we skip this bit, Reverend? We haven't got all day.
Do thou takest this woman to be thy wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony. Wilt thou love her, comfort, honor, and keep her, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto her, as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Wilt thou take this man to be thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto him, as long as you both shall live?
She will.
Who give us this woman to be married to this man?
Riley. What's going to happen to me?
Well, just before 3 o'clock, you knock at the door. There'll be someone from the magistrate's office come to take you to the executioner.
What'll be my last word?
Have you got anything to say? Say it now. Because any minute, it's all gonna be over. And now we pray. O eternal God and creator of all mankind, giver of all spiritual grace and author of everlasting life, send down thy blessings upon these thy servants, this man and this woman, who we bless in thy name, so they surely may keep and perform the vows and covenants betwixt them, and ever remain in perfect peace and love, according to your laws, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And now, as much as this man, what is it? I don't know your Christian name, Mr. Bond.
Henry.
This man Henry and this
Elizabeth.
and this woman Elizabeth have joined together in holy wedlock and witnessed as much before God. I now pronounce them to be Jesus Christ.
Nobody move. You keep this ready to fire at all times. Isn't that right, Mr. O'Reilly? So all I have to do is pull the trigger, and someone's losing their head.
Elizabeth. Let's not do anything.
Shut up. Which way to the jail?
What?
The jail. Which way is it from here?
It is out of the church gates, turn left, and then it is across the street.
She's going after Jordan.
It won't be long now, Chapin. I'm looking forward to this. I've not seen any weddings since I was a little. We had a kick about in the square afterwards with Ed.
What sort of revolting backwater is this town?
This is Winthrop's town. Bought and paid for. Here we go.
I'm looking for Dick.
I bet you are.
Grab his keys. We haven't got much time.
You're telling me.
Wait!
certainly know how to pick a dress, don't you?
Sorry.
You bloody idiot, O'Reilly. You could have handed your pistol.
How are we going to get her back now?
Don't worry about it, sir. I have a good idea whether he's sleeping tonight.
You know, you saved my life today, Elizabeth. You could have just left me in that jail.
It's just something Winthrop said. But I didn't realise it until I was stood there about to be married to him.
What was that?
He told me that you escaped the news before. How could he have known that? Unless
Yes.
everything you told me was the truth. I'm so sorry I didn't believe you.
So what do you want to do?
I don't know. There must be some way we can stop Winthrop. For now, I just want to get out of this blasted dress. I can hardly breathe in it.
I could help you with that if you like.
All right. It's all tied up at the back like a corset.
You think I've got it? Is that any better?
Feels like it.
Almost there?
Yes,
Closer?
very close.
Almost there?
Yes.
Now what?
Now it just lifts over my head.
Like this. Well, now.
Why don't you decide?
Well, it is your wedding night after all.
What about the explosives?
No, those are for the mic.
Powerful, then. Whole place will go up like tinder.
We've got to get the girl out first.
That's your job. I'll deal with Turpin.
Make sure you do. I want him dead.
Well, we finally found something you're good at.
What do you mean?
Well, I was thinking, you're not much of an outlaw, are you? The legendary Dick Turpin. You get caught every time you go out.
I don't write the legends. They just get exaggerated over time. Everyone likes a good story, don't they? Even you.
But are the real thing? Where did you learn how to do it?
What, highway robbery?
told you about how I fell in with Jack Jones's gang. Well, the girl I was married to, she worked in the butcher's too. Wasn't long before they had her fencing stolen goods.
What happened?
Apart from Jones, we all got sentenced to the noose. I managed to escape. She didn't. Well, I can't say I'm totally shocked, Elizabeth. Not even married yet, and you've already been unfaithful to me. What are you doing? I'm saving the life of my fiancée, Turpin, from a notorious criminal who's kidnapped her and held her hostage in a dangerously inflammable building. Flammable? Look at this. All these candles everywhere. Goodness knows what might happen. O'Reilly, oil, please. Come along, Elizabeth. For God's sake, put on some clothes. You look like a whore.
I'd sooner stay with Turpin and burn to death than go anywhere with you.
She knows who you are, Jack.
Verily? Well, perhaps it would be better if you did burn to death. O'Reilly? A little bit more oil, please. On these two. Always ready to fire, O'Reilly? Quick, Elizabeth, the door! Men go out through it, not lock us in. So, this is it, Turpin. Just you and me.
I've waited a long time for this, Jack. You must have known that sooner or later one of us would track you down. I did. That's why I've always been prepared.
said,